I think that's done now. So, okay, it's nice having you here once again, as like I said earlier on. Just want to check. I'm guessing we'll be having people joining as we go on. So, like I said, nice to have you on here. I've been seeing what is going on with Comicrepulic, and I'll say it's really impressive. And that Nigerian is something that I've really been proud of. You know, fills me with pride each time I see Comicrepulic. I see the quality of content that's put out. I've been to your website to see the quality of characters that are created, the artwork, just the whole effort, you know, and commitment to excellence that I see display on the website. And I usually joke with the person that administers the social media handle, especially the IG handle. Sometimes I'll put in the comments that Comicrepulic is 2034. 2034, because it seems to be pushing the boundaries of what we expect, especially when it comes to Nigerian contexts. What I think what will happen is we're still waiting for people to come on, but I think we can just give it a go and start. So we finish when we were meant to finish, and then we can people can always watch on YouTube, and because that's one thing I want to have as part of the ethos of BEX-CON is you have the time you've agreed or you've set for an event to start. It starts that time. If you have 2 people on board, you have 20 people on board, you start, and then it finishes when it's meant to finish. And so, because I know, like yourself, you may have things planned around this event. You plan to say, okay, after this event, I want to do this. So I wouldn't want to take so much of your time. So before I go on to let you speak on the topic, that I think I sent an email. I sent an email to you and to the I think the general email of Comicrepulic. Okay, so quickly, BEX-CON is a concept I looked at and said what we have usually is when it comes to executional talent or operational talent, Africa, Nigeria, we usually have that. You know, but when it comes to the platform, the talent to create a platform where people can showcase their skills, their talents, collaborate, we usually are not in the forefront of that. You know, so like let's say the NFL, National Football League, you see, you have people who have created that platform and who come on it and show their talent and show their skills and show their abilities. Same thing you have with maybe a TED Talk. Someone has created it and then everyone latches onto it from then. So BEX-CON is a place where my dream, my vision for it is a place where, for instance, the Comic-Con, you have different comic book creators from Nigeria, from all parts of the world, coming together, collaborating, getting a bit of information from other people, learning best practices and things like that. So I'm really happy to have you on board. So I think if you could just tell us a bit about yourself. I know you're the founder and CEO of Comicrepulic. If you could tell a bit about yourself, and then you go on to the topic that you're to be speaking on.
Okay, so just before I go on to the topic, I would like you, just because of the audience, I'll speak about myself, but if you don't mind, if you can repeat the topic so that the audience will know what it is I'm speaking about, and I'll just address it. But before then, like you said, first things first, I want to thank you very much for making an effort. Nigeria as a continent, we need a lot more people that will venture into the unknown and basically plant the seeds and then put the infrastructure for, let me put it this way, for our voice to be heard. In other words, for us to sort of, okay, right, in whatever field that we're in. And I believe that, you know, from everything that I've heard from you, that is what BEX-CON is about. And, you know, I just want to say kudos to you, the efforts and what you're doing. Well done. This is how it starts. before you hit 2 million people, you first have to get one person.
Yeah.
That's how it starts. So well done again. So like you said, well, people say I'm the CEO of Comicrepulic. Yes, I am CEO and founder, but I call myself Gbogbonishe in Yoruba, which means the person who does everything, right?
Yeah.
This is because I see myself as a shepherd, or let me put it, a custodian of a team, a talented team of people that come together to give you everything that is Comicrepulic. And I've been fortunate to be the chairperson of that team, which is Comicrepulic. And what we do at Comicrepulic is we basically create characters. We call ourselves a character-based entertainment company, and then we create characters that are of African origin, of African descent. At least majority of our characters, we plan on expanding on that base in order for us to put Africa's best foot forward in means of telling stories about iconic Africans who, like everyday Africans, are giving their time and themselves to make the world a better place. Simply to, push the agenda that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you're from, especially if you're from Africa, you can't save the world. All you need is the will to do so. And that's what Comicrepulic is about. We basically tell stories about African heroes.
Okay, that's really wonderful, and that's one thing that drew me to Comicrepulic and other platforms like the Lagos Comic-Con that I've seen a bit of, and because growing up, I was usually drawn to animations, your Batman, your Superman, and I always wondered, Nigeria, do we have a place to have this done? Do we have people that actually can do this? In primary school, there used to be this friend I had. He had this book where he would always be drawing stuff, comic books. So you always have people surrounding him, telling stories and all that. So it's really nice to see. I was like, it's like I'm gushing over you and over you guys, because I'm really, really impressed, because it's something I always ask myself. Europeans, Americans, people from all over the world, they don't have, how we say in Nigeria, they don't have two heads. It's just opening themselves up to creativity. Let me just share the screen so the viewers could see share my screen just for a second so the viewers could see what the topic is for discussion today.
I think it's written clearly behind you. It says team standing out in a creative industry.
Yeah, but there's a specific topic I sent by email. I don't know if you got that.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so I just want to get that up there. So
I know the topic. I could just go on, if you don't mind, or should we wait for you to still share it?
Okay, you could go on, and then I would share it for a few minutes while you're speaking. Is that okay? I'm sorry for
That's fine. The topic is standing out in the creative industry, focusing on comic books and animators, and African standpoint. So basically, Africa is full of talent. We have loads of creative people, and we have loads of stories to tell. What that means is that we basically have a lot of creative content to give to the world.
Yeah.
Every part of Africa has rich history. And the good thing is, as at today, that history is largely untapped. And the world presently is in a state where it has come to recognize that the continent, the people, and the people from the continent in diaspora are important and should be given a voice. And so you find out that there are loads of African content being, in the mainstream as of today. Now, going to the topic is, how do you stand out? And I would say that there are two ways that there are two ways or two methods or two things you need to focus on to be able to stand out in the creative space that is becoming increasingly or by daily saturated, but also in a global space where creative content is presently king. And that is shown by things like, streaming wars, where you have a lot of streaming companies and loads of content being created for them. So the first thing would be authenticity, where you create authentic African content. And a lot of Africa has been wrongly tagged with custom and, for lack of a better word, old school. When people want to do African content, what they want to do, which has been overplayed, is they want to show people what Africa was, which is not bad, but it is overdone. I say in today's world, if you take if you take a card from what is being done in the Western world, is that you should put a little bit of the present day while you are showcasing or highlighting the customs and traditions of the people. You must understand that people are drawn to what they are familiar with. And then if you give them a little bit of what they do not know, it even makes it a little more interesting. So I would say, try to find a way to make your story original and authentic. Now, you need to bear in mind that there is nothing that is new under the sun. So we're not expecting you to come out with something novel. But even if it is a story that has been told before, you need to tell it in your own unique way. And this is what gives us as Africans an advantage, because we have a lot of untapped story and creative content that hasn't yet been exposed to the world. So go out there, tell a story that is interesting, but make it yours. That'll be the first thing that I would say that we'll need to do to stand out. And this is for every creative in the continent. The second thing we need to do to stand out is to ensure quality, which is what Comicrepulic is about. We have a saying in-house that we have a gold standard of quality, that our logo should be a stamp of quality. And so if it doesn't meet a standard of quality where we can comfortably beat our chest and say, yes, this is good for the international market, we don't let it out. We'll go back and we'll work on it and we'll work on it. A lot of the projects that you see, for example, last year alone, in 2020, we released 18 titles in 1 year. There's no other comic company on the continent that did that or has done that. I mean, that's more than even one comic a month, because we were literally doing 2 comics monthly. I could tell you that those books were ready the year before, right? Most of those titles, we literally were working on them for almost 2 years. So most of the books that you see that have come out are books that probably we have been working from the story point for not less than 6 months. And this is because we go back, we revisit, we don't let it out until we're satisfied. And even when we're satisfied, we look at it and we say, okay, what can we do better? And this is to ensure that with each issue that we're coming out with something not only that is fresh, unique, authentic, but something that is of good quality, basically better than what we did the last time. That again will stand you out. And this is because I still do believe that the continent is still in a place of mediocrity. Now, why I'm saying that is that a lot of things we do on the continent is we basically, if it's okay, we're okay. I don't believe that most of the time we strive to be our best self. And this is one of the things that Comicrepulic is also trying to change. We're trying to bring the creative space to the professional space. We want to create professional creatives. I know those two words don't usually go together, and that exactly is the problem. There's nothing wrong with having professional creatives, and not formal creative, but professional creative. People who know what they're doing and do it to an exceptional standard. And we believe that if we constantly, and the final ingredients to this is persistence and consistency. Persistence in the sense that you should plot out your creative story. You should plot out your creative goal. You should plot out your brand identity. You should plot out the field you want to play in, and then understanding that it takes time for anything to emerge. It takes time for any career to grow. It takes time for any product to reach its prime point, to reach its pinnacle. You need to be consistent. You need to follow your plan through. Where in a time where we have the hive mentality, where people basically just want to follow what the latest trend is. And hence what happens is that you have a lot of half-baked plans. People not fulfilling their dreams simply because they did not follow their plans through, because they think it's not trending or it is presently maybe unpopular. I would say that if you've plotted out a map or a plan for your creative content, your creative delivery, you should be persistent with it. If you've set out a plan, because you can't have a plan without having a fixed time period. If you don't have a fixed time period for executing your plan, then you don't have a plan in the first place. So if you have a plan and then you execute it, I would say run through to the end of your set plan and only make minor adjustments if you are very sure that your plan isn't working. But don't just change because everybody else is doing one other thing. Think about it. If everybody's wearing a blue shirt and you are wearing a yellow shirt, you automatically stand out. So be persistent with your plans and don't exactly jump at every trend bandwagon that is out there. And be persistent. And if you put, like I started from the beginning, if you have your own brand identity, if you constantly strive for quality, and then you're persistent with your brand identity and your brand goals, you're persistent with your quality level and your delivery, I believe that those are the key ingredients to stand out in the creative space, especially in our beautiful continent, Africa.
Okay. Thanks so much. There's a lot of good stuff to pick out from what you've said, from what you I hope the viewers and listeners and those who watch afterwards would really have a lot to learn from what you said. But no question is coming from viewers, but I would love to ask this question, because, like I said, one thing that impressed me about Comicrepulic was not just the creative aspect, which we know is pervasive in Nigeria, or not just in Nigeria, it's all over the world, Africa, even within minority communities in places like the UK, US, Canada, you have this creative ability. It's everywhere. You know, like there's a group on Facebook I went to, the Nigerian comic group, I think so, and you see amazing artwork and characters that created on the platform. Now the question is, how do creatives merge or create a synergy between their creativity and structure and organization, you know, to get it to flow, to get their work to flow? Because one thing we know, you can be very lucky and be a very creative person and also have the business mindset and also have the executional mindset, organizational mindset. But in some circumstances, you may be very creative when it comes to, you may be very blessed and gifted when it comes to creation. But in terms of organizing structure around your creativity, it becomes a bit tricky. So how do people, or the question is, how do people create that synergy? What's the best way to create that synergy between creativity and structure?
So you've asked a very, very vital question, and a very important one. Basically, how do creatives become a little bit more professional and work in a structured environment? So the very first thing is that we need to, it's not going to be easy, but we need to change the mindset. Even creatives don't see themselves as being professional. And that is the very first step. If you believe that as a creative, you're a professional, it becomes easy for you to accept, you know, the things that professionals will do, which is work under a certain discipline, work under certain guidelines, and then work with structure. So the very first thing is we need to find a way to change the mindsets of non-creatives and creatives about creatives in the first place. You need to see yourself as a professional that is making a living off that, right? That's number one. Number two is teamwork. Not everyone is good at everything, right? And so always be ready to work in or with a team that has structure. Right. So, I mean, I might not know how to be structured, but if I work with a team that has structure and is structured and I just follow their rules, all I need to do is just follow their rules, right? So I would say that creatives should stop trying to be, there's this, you know, creatives were very passionate, because I'm an artist myself. Yeah. We're very passionate about our works. You know, we don't want anyone to either A, come and collect part of our praise, or B, we don't want anyone to share in our so-called profit that we haven't made yet. And we still haven't made in a while, right? But you start to understand that it is better for you to earn. I tell everyone that I rather earn 10% of something and or own 100% of nothing, right? So find a team that will do, or that is stronger or better at everything else than you. Look for somebody who is good at administrative work. Look for somebody who is good at for marketing. Even look for somebody who is good to be a leader or a director who you would work with, and then basically seek counsel and follow their advice. I would say most creatives should look for a professional mentor to say, this is what I want to do in my creative work. What do I do? And even if you don't like what you're hearing, simply because you know that your strength is being a creative, and you don't have to be good at structure, but you are working with someone or following someone that is good at structure, then you're good. That, I believe, is the best way. So to wrap it up, the first thing is to change the mindset that creatives are not professional. That is a lie from hell. We can be professional. Anything you do can be made into a discipline or a profession, anything whatsoever, right? I mean, if people can turn cooking, which also needs talent, right, into a profession, a business that brings in billions of dollars around the world, then I don't see why we as artists cannot work like actors, right? So first things first is to change the mindset, followed by working with teams and people who already have a structured organizational mindset, and then just basically working as a team with them.
Okay. I'm still on team building, structure, and all that. How do you build your team? How do you build your team? Do you just, okay, I look for someone who's kind of a creative, but has more administration skills, but has more, should I say, HR skills, or have more business skills? Or do I just look for someone who may not have any sort of creative skills or expertise, but is the best administrator I can lay my hands, or I can get access to the best business operations person I can get my hands onto? So what considerations do you have? Would you advise people to have at the back of their minds when trying to build a team around maybe their comic book company or their comic book project?
So that is another very good question. You're asking brilliant questions. The first thing I would say is look at the human body as an example, right? The eyes completely different from the nose completely different from the mouth is completely different from the fingers. Your brain basically is completely different from your skin, but all of these things work together towards one goal, which is survival, right? So I would say that the first thing is you need to understand what your goals are. It could be anything. It could be, I want to draw comics of African superheroes, or I want to do funny skits, or whatever it is, right? And then you look for people who, number one, agree and share that vision with you, right? From time to time, you may find people who pretend or think they share the vision with you, but whenever you find out that your vision don't align, it's okay to let them go and then look for someone else, right? So the first thing is to, number one, on your own, understand what your goal is. You must have a goal. I like to call it a culture, right? You need to know, okay, these are the things that work for whatever it is that my goal is, and these are things that don't. And then look for people who fit into that culture. That's one. Two is, again, like the body part, you need to understand that you need people of completely various fields to create a team. They don't need to be able to do anything that you can do. In fact, it even helps when each individual is very strong in their own respective talent or capacity or discipline. I don't need somebody who is into comic art to market comic art for me. No. Are you a good marketer? Yes. Can you market comic art? Yes. Let's go. Right. I don't need you to be able to draw. I don't need you to watch all the anime that I watch. I don't even need you to have the same art style that I like. What I need you to do is to be able to understand what my product is and to be able to sell it. And if I find out that you have an understanding, and having an understanding doesn't mean that you like something, it just means you understand it and you can sell it, then I would gladly hire you as my marketer. Are you somebody that can close deals? Do you understand what a corporate structure is? Do you understand how to file in my taxes? Do you understand, corporate politics? Can you open doors for me where it matters? Then I don't need you to be able to draw, color, or write. I just need you to do that for me, right? Same thing too when it comes to writing. I don't need you to be able to draw. I just need you to be able to write, right? So you don't need to find people who have similar talents. In fact, if you have similar talents, it means that you don't have an effective team. You need to have people who are very good in their separate disciplines, but share one common goal and vision, and you have a good team.
That's an excellent answer, because it's something I've seen. You know, I wouldn't. It's not in the initially. It wasn't the comic industry. It was in the music industry. Even at church level, you see people who are in the choir or something. When you have someone come up to them, wants to create a structure around them, they say, "Oh, this one he doesn't know how to sing. So how can he or how can she then manage me that has this creative voice? I can sing alto, I can sing soprano, and all that." You know, there's that problem. Even then, you move to people who draw. You know, because it amazes me. I'm a very creative person myself, script writing, all that I can create, but to draw, people say try, draw, train yourself. I've tried, it's just not happening. You know, so sometimes when I work with artists, I have to give off this air of what I'm doing is so wonderful, is so fantastic. You can't do it, so let me be, because I'm someone that I'm time sensitive. If I give a project, say, I expect inking, penciling, inking to be done within five days, or be done within a week, and we agree to it, and then afterwards it's taking you another additional 5 days to get it done, and I'm trying to let you know you're going against my time schedule. You know, you're affecting budget, you're affecting my time of delivery, but you have this air of I'm an artist. You don't know the intricacies of bringing this stuff out. You know, but what some artists would fail to understand is, if you're employed by DC today, you may see someone who's never been in an art class his entire life, and he will be the person you report to. All he knows is you're given a product, you're given a timeline to deliver the product. You don't deliver within the timeline. If that becomes a trend with respect to how you deliver your work, then you lose out. If you get a deal with Netflix tomorrow, and Netflix says, okay, we're giving you £10 million for a 10-year deal, once you fail to deliver on time, doesn't matter how skilled you are, you're off. You know, so I'm very happy that this is something you've raised. And I'm the creator of Wahala Comics. I'm the creator of Wahala Comics. I'm trying to get a team. I don't have a team myself. I'm trying to put together a team. So right now I'm working with freelancers, and I must say it's a bit of a challenge working with freelancers. Sometimes it just, and it's not even, would I say it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's not even a Nigerian thing. It's not even a Nigerian thing, because I've worked with Polish artists, I've worked with Italian artists, and still the same thing. What they bring on as their point of argument is that I'm a freelancer, so your job you're giving to me to do on a page-by-page basis isn't sufficient to pay my bills. You know, it's not sufficient to pay my bills, so I have to work with other. I have to take jobs from other comic creators and things like that. But still, if you have a time slot, so okay, I'm taking this job from let's say creator A or writer A, I have to deliver it between, let's say, Monday and the next Monday. Okay, you have that. Then the next job I will take, I'll negotiate with the person I'm getting the job from. I'll deliver it between the Tuesday to the next Tuesday. So I'm really happy that's the point, a point you raised. So I would like to share something with everyone. I hope it works out fine this time around. And then after that, I would like you're representing Comicrepulic to give us some insight into maybe the new projects you have coming on this year. You know, there's any new titles for us to expect this year. If there's some just any new information that does not go against any, should I say, confidential agreements you have with any company or any person. at this point that you can share with us, that'll be lovely. So just hold on a moment while I see if I can share this. Yes, so this is one of my characters. The titles I'm looking to bring out this year. This is Blast. This is one of the titles I'm looking to bring out this year. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So this is one of the titles I'm looking to bring out this year, Blast. And then I would also show you the next one of two of them, and then I'll go on to make the point I want to make. So that Blast, and that's Bakal looking to bring these ones out this year. Sorry, we're already in 2021, so I shouldn't keep saying next year because we're already in the year. And then finally, there are other titles I'm looking to bring up this year, but these are some that I'm very happy with. So this is Ghost Oni, the Spirit of Nigerian Vengeance. So these are some titles that will hopefully that will be published this year. Let's say some 6 months from now, two of those titles should be out. So my own experience, or rather my characters, are characters that have, because I was born in the UK and then I went back to Nigeria, grew up in Nigeria, and then came back to the UK. So my own characters usually have these diverse connection to maybe UK or US, but still have that Nigerian connection, because I feel that's a story area where we haven't really tackled, because that relationship still exists. You have Nigerians who are in the US, some of them feel like, am I Nigerian? I may go by John Okafor, but am I really Nigerian? I can speak with a Bostonian accent, so at least to have that is a different take on the superhero genre, where you have a connection between being a Nigerian and then you're living in a foreign country and things like that. So those books, I'm looking to have them out this year. So first off, I would just like to have your opinion on what you think of the work that you've seen. I know just the covers, what you think about them, and then you go on to tell us what to expect from Comicrepulic this year.
So the first things first, again, I'm always really excited when I see people from the motherland, which is Africa, turning creative content, because we do have a long journey ahead of us. Fortunately, we're in such a time where the journey is being shortened, but we still do have a long journey. And the more noise we can make as a group, the better we are. That's number one. Number two, I also like people who are moving forward on their own to make strides, because individually we need to be strong before we can unite. And then if you have a body of individually strong people coming together to turn out something, you literally have an unstoppable force. So again, well done for even taking the courage to do so. I know it's not easy to turn out content, especially as a creator of African descent into this world. So again, well done. Number two is I completely love the designs. As in, when I see superheroes and I see very good ones, for lack of a better word, I salivate. It's like you put hot, delicious chicken in front of me, and that's what I felt like when I saw those characters. Very good design. They seem very well thought through. The only thing I would say is you might want to watch. I can't remember the guy with the three claws. What his name is? The guy with the drip and three claws.
Yeah, okay, maybe relationship to Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. The three claw thing and the way it was depicted it's a bit on the nose, but then again, it really depends on your execution of the storyline. I would say maybe you can find a different design for the claws. I'm not saying take out the three claws, but find a different design for the claws itself so it doesn't exactly look like Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
That is what I would say. But apart from that, I'm loving design. I'm also loving the angle that you're taking it from, which is something that, we are working on. And that will lead to your question where you say we should share what we are working on.
Yeah.
So the very first thing I would also, before I go into what we're sharing, I also want to use the opportunity to let you know that we have a segment of our app that we call Comicrepulic U. And Comicrepulic U, which is called CRU, is where we publish independent creators' titles that we believe in. So
Okay.
you may, I don't know if you'll be interested, get in touch with us and see if you can publish your book on the platform. We're presently on a monthly basis. We don't have less than 200,000 people visiting our site. And so I can tell you that publishing with us will immediately give you an audience. And then you publish on the CRU as an independent publisher. But of course, your book would need to meet at least our minimum standards for us to publish it. So if you're interested, please let us know. And this goes out to any creator out there who believe that they have work that they want to publish as independent creators, and then we will have discussion on terms and conditions. So that is one thing I think you should know. If when your books are ready to go out, you want to use our platform, that's fine. Based on what you said earlier, so Vanguard presently, if you're following our comic books, we have the Vanguard series where we finished the first arc and we started the second arc. With the second arc, we literally, so this is, first time we're saying this, we're using the Netflix model where it starts with a slow burn, but it gets pretty exciting towards the end. Until you read the aftermath stories and you see it's not a lot of action, but it's a lot of story building. But I can assure our fans that, the last 3 episodes are pretty explosive, and it will be something that they need to watch out for. And immediately after that, we're going into the third arc. We've not announced this before, so this is the first time we're announcing the third arc, which will be called Vanguard's Overwatch. And we already have the comic books ready, and we'll be kicking off immediately. Vanguard's Aftermath is released. So this is an exclusive, letting people know that immediately after Vanguard's Aftermath is over, we're kicking straight into the third arc that we call Vanguard's Overwatch. So Comicrepulic fans have, a lot to look forward to. This is not without any of our other major titles that are coming out. And then also this year will be an exciting time for creative content, as we have a couple of big announcements to make. But we're holding that to our chest. Simply, like you said, we've signed a couple of NDAs, so we can't reveal too much. But all I'll say is that African creatives should be excited, because as usual, we're paving the way forward, which will only lead to other African creatives reaching the potential of what they have. And then at the end of the day, all of us putting Africa's best foot forward and putting Africa on the map.
There's the question. We know primarily comic books are for they're not for, but comic books are usually a platform for superheroes and for superheroes. But how do you see the comic book industry or comic books as a platform for other types of stories? Maybe you have your normal thrillers, you would have, like, let's say, a John Wick-esque kind of movie, or a Jurassic Park kind of movie that is entertaining, engaging, and all is action-packed, but it's not superheroes. How do you see the comic book how do you see the comic book platform as a platform to tell these other type of stories?
So again, you're asking all the right questions, right? So something I forgot to mention earlier, you said, superheroes from the UK, which is one of the things that we're going to reveal in Overwatch. We have characters from different parts of the world that will show up in Vanguard's Overwatch. So just to complete the previous thing. And then coming down to what you have just said, Comicrepulic is already exploring that. I'm not sure if you've read any of the issues of Vanguard's Aftermath. If you haven't, please read. I think we do have issues 1 and 2 out right now, and issues 1, 2, and 3, to be honest, yes. And the whole point of those 3 issues were to make comic books that were not superhero oriented. They were about regular people. The first comic book was about a young, that's Vanguard's Aftermath issue 1. It was literally about a young man who had superpowers but never used them because they were detrimental to his health. And so we see him going through and living like a normal person. And at the end of the day, when he mattered, he needed to do something. The second book was even about a girl who did not have any superhero powers at all, but she was just basically a civilian who was literally at the wrong place at the wrong time when things happened. And then the third book was about lawyers, Guardian Prime, who is our forerunner, who was invited to face justice. And literally the whole comic happened in a courtroom. Not a single punch was thrown in that book. And so, yeah, it is comic books, just showing by what even we are doing ourselves, to show you that we believe in that. Comic books is not just for superheroes. It's not just for action. A lot of very, very interesting storytelling can be told. And we have proven that in our books, Vanguard's Aftermath 1 to 3. You can pick them out so that you can see, how quality storytelling. You can pick them, visit our website or visit our app and just read them. It's free, and see how we can do quality storytelling without doing the regular superhero stuff.
Okay, so I'll be reading, I think, is issue 1 or issue 2 where, like I say, it's a court case, more or less a court case where Guardian Prime had to came to the court and had to give evidence and all that. So I was reading it. In my mind, I was thinking, in our modern day Nigeria, would this be possible? Some with such powers and being tongue lashed by a lawyer who just has his words and nothing else. Someone you could crush his head in 2 seconds. So I really, like I said, I really enjoyed the part I've read so far, but I'll raise my hands up. I haven't finished it because I have a lot of scripts, because right now I'm a one-man army. I'm not just an army, I'm one-man army, Air Force, and everything. I have to I create the scripts myself, and then I just can't draw, so I have them. I send them to put to draw and have these delays. But the time I've had to look at the artwork on the site and then read some of the characters, I'm really, really impressed, and I really enjoy the characters. Now, and there's something I'm looking forward to. Maybe that's part of your plan of what's in the works for this year. If that would be part of your plan, I'll be very happy to see Guardian Prime or any other Comic Republic character in a full-fledged animation. Full-fledged animation, maybe on Hulu, Amazon, or Netflix, whichever platform. That would just drive me mental. I must say so. And so, in order not to drag you into any place where you have to give up information that you may that you may not need, you may not want to give, or may not be legally advisable to give up those sort of information. But in terms of, is it possible to create a platform like a Netflix X platform, a streaming platform, where we could, within Nigerian context, to have that could say, okay, we have this title, Wahala Comics title, we have this Comicrepulic title, we have this title from this company, we are making it into maybe a limited run, a limited animated series, let's say 6 episodes. Is there something that can be done in Nigeria?
Oh yeah, it is very possible. So we are already experimenting with creating that kind of platform with our app. So if you look at our app, you see that you'll be able to watch videos there, right?
Okay.
So we have the infrastructure.
Okay.
That I can tell you because, like I said, you can actually watch videos on our app. We have things like the art of Emmanuel Ozo or the art of Godwin Akpan, where you click on it and then you just watch the videos, right? So we do have the technological capacity to do that. Of course, what is necessary is the funding to actually make the animations for all of these stories, right? So in other words, if you do have animations and you're looking for a platform to display it on, Comicrepulic has the capacity to do that. But what we need is more investors internally. And to be honest, unfortunately, yes, we do have a couple of plans. Like you said, I've signed the NDA, so I can't reveal much on them. But if we also had, more investment to be able to take on other people's titles. So, for example, we come to the Wahala and we say, look, we really like this title from you. We want to convert it to an animation, sign a deal with us, right? And then we convert it and then we put it on our platform. That would take a lot more investment. Considering like Netflix, where you also have to make your own original content, which is what we're focusing on right now.
Yeah.
Gladly, again, our goal is to enrich the industry. So if we had the financial capacity, we would be reaching out to various creators. All we need is for you to turn out quality content and we will convert it. And everybody will smile into the bank. We will smile to the bank. The creators will smile into the bank. We're not exclusive in the sense where we only want to do our own stuff. No, anything that is profitable, anything that is good, and anything that we can proudly push the worldwide market, we gladly will do so. So yes, the infrastructure is there. We just need a little more finance to be able to make these dreams come true.
Okay. The event was meant to be longer, but we're not having as many people as I was expecting, and then there was meant to be another speaker, but unfortunately he was unable to make it. So what would happen? I would share one more title. Don't blame me. I'm just making an excuse to share my title. I'm just making an excuse to share my title, and then after that, I was expecting to have when I was doing publicity, I went on to talk about the art challenge. Okay, sketchy genius. Okay. About the art challenge where characters were to be drawn, and then whoever turns out to have the best work would. I think there was an offer for an internship at Comicrepulic. Yeah, so if we don't have that many people here to actually participate in the art challenge, I don't know if it would be possible to extend it beyond this and just have it posted there, and all entries will be sent to the Comicrepulic email, and then it will be judged, and then the announcement can then be made after that. If that's okay. I don't know what you think about that.
Very fine.
Okay.
I know the young man.
Join us.
Yes.
You're welcome. And so I'll just share this.
By the way. So first things first is, look, we're always excited to find new talent. So please, anybody that wants to send in their art or their portfolio, either be via the challenge or any other thing, should just basically send us a mail with their portfolio, and then we can basically review it. But we do not take unsolicited concepts. So it needs to be something that you have published in a public space somewhere. So if you have your, like, maybe your Facebook page or your whatever art platform that you're on, please publish it first. so that it's out to the general public, and then you can share it with us, and then we can take a look at it, because we don't want anybody to say we stole the ideas. Once it's in the public domain, it's in the public domain, right? So we always encourage that before you share anything with us. That's the first thing. So please, people should always send in their content. We're very happy to take them on if they're good enough, or if they meet our, like I said, corporate culture and qualifications. And yes, please, I would be excited to see more of your work, as you said.
Okay.
Hi, Said. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Nice to see
you. Is it just over CLS?
Yeah, I think the show is about to round up.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I remember the thing late.
No problem.
Where is the host?
The host is here.
Okay, where is the challenge now? Let's make some money.
So that's Green Eagle.
Wow.
That's Green Eagle. That's one of the books that hopefully will be coming out this year from Wahala Comics. And then lastly, let me share this one. And this First Light. So this is some of the characters.
He's a speedster.
Yes, a speedster, yeah. And this powered woman.
Are chains? Are they like the Green Lantern type of chains?
No, her chains are.
Or they are like actual chains?
They're like actual chains that are powered.
Oh, okay.
You know, one is Sub-Zero, that which is freeze, ability to freeze, and the other one gives her the ability to, you know, basically burn stuff up. So, and then finally, I'll just show so Guardian Society International. So that's the superhero group. So with respect to, I know you were talking about the art challenge and wanted to make some money. So I think Mr. Jide Martin, since he's a person from Comicrepulic, should put forward the character. Which character should be the subject for the art challenge?
I would say that pick your favorite Comicrepulic character, and then okay, illustrate them in the most interesting, let me put it this way, would it be pose or storytelling that you can do in one picture? Okay. would like to see, just by looking at the picture, a story being told. And then, how well is your understanding of our character. So whatever character you pick, the character depiction should let us see how well you understand our characters. And I think that's about it.
Okay. I think just about rounding up, but I don't know if I should keep calling you Sketchy Ninja. Well, what name would you prefer me to call you, or you're okay with me referring to you as Sketchy Ninja?
Saeed, call me Saeed.
Saeed, okay. Okay, Saeed. Are there any, since we're about rounding up, are there any plugs you'd like to drop for our listeners and our viewers? Like where they can find your Instagram page, things you're doing?
Oh yeah. So what I think we'll do is that we'll send you all our contacts so that you can add it to the link and on YouTube. But basically, if you visit our website, which is www.thecomicrepublic.com, that's www.comicrepublic.com, you'll be able to connect to all our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter also. And our content is free, so please, we put it out there so that you guys can go out and enjoy yourself at no cost to you. So please take the time, the numbers matter to us, read our books, also tell a friend. The more people start to understand that we have characters of color doing amazing things at the quality that Comicrepulic is putting out, the better it is for the creative industry as a whole. We need to build a mindset where people actually look for African characters and are interested in African characters. So the more we spread the word for what is in existence, the better we are as creatives, and the industry and the continent will be in a much better place. So please spread the word and let's share the gospel of African superheroes.
All right. Thank you once again very much for coming on. This is the first edition of BEX-CON, Comic-Con, which for the benefit of Saeed and our listeners and viewers who may have just joined in, especially on YouTube. The BEX-CON is a platform for comic book creators, comic book companies to come on, collaborate, share their works, give insight as to their experiences, give some hints, some subtle hints as to what people should expect from them in the year. So this is the first edition. So we're looking forward to 12 months from now, 2022, looking to have BEX-CON 2022 Comic-Con that will create such a platform for comic book creators to come on and showcase what they have. And then the one other goal we have is to create challenges. While we have a main conference every year, would have different challenges, our challenges throughout the year, so that people can engage and encourage people as well. So I'd like to say, Saeed, thank you for joining us. And so Wahala Comics is on Instagram. It's just one word, Wahala Comics is on Instagram. Ugo's Take as well is on Instagram, so you could follow on there and interact with me on there. So thank you once again, and I'd like to say enjoy the rest of your day, and God bless everyone.
Real quick,
okay.
You go to the Comicrepulic, and these are like my 3 favorite titles so far. That I would like. If you don't know where to start from, there are like so many comics. If you don't know where to start from these 3. The first one is Metala. The second one is Might of the Guardian Prime and Vanguards. So there are other comics there that are actually like nice, but for me, the ones I've read, these are like the top 3 I recommend that you go and check out right now. Okay. Metala, Vanguards, Might of the Guardian Prime. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Saeed. All right, guys, have a nice day. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.